Hello, this video is going to talk about immunotherapy for breast cancer. What is it? How does it work? A little bit about the immune system, and then who is eligible for immunotherapy, or rather, in which people will immunotherapy be helpful? Before I go on, I'd love to invite you to subscribe to our channel and to participate in the chat, which is a form of conversation with us and other people in the Yerbba community. And if you're curious about whether immunotherapy might be part of your treatment plan, I'd love to invite you to go to Yerbba.com to get your personalized Yerbba report. I just want to say early on in this video that immunotherapy is used with chemotherapy in two groups of people. People with triple negative breast cancer that's early stage who have a high risk of recurrence, and people who have triple negative metastatic or advanced breast cancer that is triple negative. I'll explain more further on in the video about why this is the case. So let's talk about the immune system. The immune system is a marvel. There's so many different parts of the immune system. There are cells that fight bacteria and fungus and viruses, and there are cells and parts of the immune system that fight cancer cells. Remember that cancer cells come from normal cells that get enough abnormalities in their DNA, enough mutations, slowly over time, many of them, that eventually they become non-self cells. So to explain that in a little more detail, our immune system recognizes cells that are self, meaning ours, normal cells, and cells that are not self. This is actually a medical term. These are viruses, bacteria, fungus, cancer cells, and other sorts of proteins in the body. The immune system also has some checks on it, because if the immune system were to go unchecked, we would see more people with autoimmune diseases. The immune system can actually go haywire. People with inflammatory autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, many other autoimmune conditions, that's just a few of them. The immune system actually recognizes normal parts of the body as foreign and then attacks it. So we actually have this amazing check and balance on the immune system so that it doesn't allow too many things to pass through and also doesn't attack normal cells. As cancer cells go from being normal cells to a little bit different, to a little bit more foreign, to really full out foreign sort of invaders, and they don't look anything like normal cells, they can kind of sneak by the immune system. They kind of sneak up gradually on the immune system. And what immunotherapy does is it harnesses the body's immune system, and it makes those, it sort of pulls back the checks on the immune system that are naturally in place. And this can lead to some of the toxicity we see from immunotherapy, as now the immune system is unchecked. So when I talk about the side effects of immunotherapy, it will make more sense as you understand this delicate balance between self, non-self, an immune system in balance, and an immune system that's more unchecked than maybe we would like it to be. So let's talk about the types of immunotherapy that are available to treat people with breast cancer. I do just want to make a note that there are even more immunotherapy options for different kinds of cancers. In fact, cancers that have rarely responded to chemotherapy. So many cancers don't respond to chemotherapy, but when we add immunotherapy to chemotherapy, we actually now have treatments for cancers for which we've had very few treatments in the past. Breast cancer is a little different because we have a wealth of chemotherapy agents, we have a wealth of targeted therapies, and we have a wealth of endocrine therapies that have worked. There are only a couple immunotherapies that work in breast cancer. The main type of immunotherapy are called checkpoint inhibitors. You'll recall that I talked about keeping the immune system in check, sort of holding it back from destroying the body. And that holding back, these proteins that hold back the immune system, can also make cancers able to evade the immune system. T cells are a branch of the immune system, an amazing part of the immune system, that when those proteins are now unchecked, the T cells can now attack the cancers. So again, it's very complicated. The immune system is complex and beautiful and elaborate, but we're now learning that if we can inhibit or check, we can inhibit those checkpoints, we can treat the cancer. So immune checkpoint inhibitors check the immune system. They keep it in check. And now those cells, especially the T cells, which are normal cells in our body, can now affect the cancer cells. I find that quite remarkable. And when they do that, they usually work best with chemotherapy. So it's sort of a bummer to me that the immune checkpoint inhibitors can't be used instead of chemotherapy, but we know that used in combination with chemotherapy, they are more effective than either alone, and that's what we really want to see. So immunotherapies are not an instead of chemotherapy, they're in addition to chemotherapy. The immune checkpoint inhibitor for which we have the most data and really the most availability is pembrolizumab. The brand name of this is Keytruda, and you've probably seen this advertised if you live in the US or New Zealand. You've probably seen this advertised on television for a whole host of cancers. In breast cancer that's triple negative, whether it's early stage high risk, so it's a high risk of coming back, or in metastatic disease, pembrolizumab is effective in treating those cancers. The reason it's most effective in people with triple negative breast cancer is because it's most effective in cells that have a lot of mutations and look more foreign to the body. Triple negative cancers have a lot of mutations, and thus the body sees them as foreign and not self, if you remember at the beginning of the video. I'd like to talk next about the monoclonal antibodies. These are not technically immunotherapy. They don't harness the immune system. They're actually monoclonal antibodies that are made in the laboratory that affect the cells that have those proteins. The one that you'll know the most is trastuzumab or pertuzumab for people whose tumors are HER2 positive. So I'm not going to really go into detail. They sometimes get grouped under immune therapies, but they're not really the same as immunotherapy. These are not your body's own immune system. They're antibodies that are made in the lab. So what are the side effects of immunotherapy, in particular the checkpoint inhibitors? I don't want you to be discouraged, but they sound a lot like the side effects of chemotherapy. We're talking nausea and vomiting, fatigue, joint pains, constipation and diarrhea, low white cell counts, and anemia. So a lot of the things we think about with chemotherapy, and because we give them together, it can be really difficult to say, is it the immunotherapy or is it the chemotherapy? The other side effects of immunotherapy that are really important to know are because of their ability to basically unmask the immune system. So we see things like thyroiditis, where the thyroid is basically attacked by the body's own immune system. We see problems with the lung, we can see problems with the heart, we can see other problems with the endocrine system, we can see problems with the liver. If you are on immunotherapy, your blood work will be checked very carefully. This is what we're looking for. When that happens, the drug has to be stopped immediately, and in general, we will use steroids to suppress the immune system again. Remember, these come about because now your immune system is really revved up, and it's going to basically attack your own normal tissues. We've asked it to stand down we've asked it to stand up. It was standing down with regard to your thyroid and your lungs and your heart and your liver and your skin, and now we're asking it to come forward. So that's why normal tissues can be affected. And these are not common, but they're serious. And so that's why they warrant specific time in this video. If you've had an experience like this, join the conversation. Let us know, how did you do? We love to hear from you in the comments. We love your questions. We love your comments. We love what you share in the conversation with other people, part of the Yerbba community. I read every comment you write. Our team reads every comment you write. We are real people, and we get back to you just as soon as we can. I'd like to extend a special note of gratitude for all of those of you who've contributed to our conversation, and thank you as always for watching. We'll see you next time.